So I was going to be very brief, but there's a couple of things I want to touch upon that I wasn't planning on talking about, but I hear the words how I'm sticking it to Milwaukee as the author of the bill. I am forcing Milwaukee City and County into something that is so far from the truth that it's beyond laughable, it's insulting. I have letters of, that we've been working with the mayor, we've been working with the county exec. Now, if 2 years ago, you would have told me that I would be up saying, I'm putting forward a bill to keep the Brewers in Milwaukee, and I would be accused of being anti-Milwaukee in doing so, I would have thought you were crazy. It just doesn't make sense to me. There are two taxing entities outside of the state of Wisconsin that directly benefit, and that is Milwaukee County and the city of Milwaukee, because we added a 0.4% tax and a 2% tax. They're the only two, other than the state, that are directly benefiting from the $250 million roughly that is being spent in Milwaukee County. And then I hear my colleagues say, but all these counties should be paying. Well, on behalf of my residents of the 60th District that drive down from Ozaki and Washington County, we apologize for spending our hard-earned money in Milwaukee. Okay? Because that adds up. You can say we're going to go to the zoo or we're going to go to the museum, but quite frankly, that's not the case. A lot of people from surrounding counties go to those games, pay our taxes on that $15 beer and whatever a hot dog costs, but all of that money goes into the coffers, into the city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. And I want to thank the members of the State Affairs Committee for having the faith in me to keep my word and say, we will do no harm. We will do no harm. I don't want to ever hear that we had to cut a policeman, a fighter, or a teacher, or sacrifice anything. So we came up with some creative ways to help Milwaukee, the city, and the county to do that. Sometimes it's best just to say thank you. And that's what I'm going to do now, is say thank you to my colleagues on both sides of the aisle. Thank you to Speaker Voss, I think, for trusting me to do this.
Use assembly numbers on the floor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'd also like to thank the staff. Can I mention a staff's name, or is that out of line too? I'm going to do it anyways, then you can yell at me. How's that? I want to thank Tyler Clark because the hundreds of hours that he put into this, Ledge Council, Fiscal Bureau. We have been working on this for more than 6 months. This was not something we came lately to, that we didn't invite our partners to. And people on both sides of the aisle know they were invited and had a seat at the table. And I want to thank the governor. And while we were sitting here and I was thinking about the criticism of we're taking this money that could go to something else, I Googled, and I didn't see any press releases or comments from anybody on the other side of the aisle when the governor proposed using $290 million of surplus money, one-time money, GPR dollars for this, versus our concept, which is essentially a pay-as-you-go income tax TIF. That money would not be there but for the brewers. That's how we treat TIFs. This development would not happen but for the TIF. This income tax would not be there. You can't spend it on childcare. You can't spend it on anything else if the brewers leave. It is a very simple concept. This is income tax that we will genuinely lose, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, if the brewers leave. I agree with my colleague from the 53rd that I probably wouldn't have voted on the original deal, and hopefully I'll be long gone and not have to worry about how my grandson voted on a new stadium or not doing a new stadium in 2050. That's a discussion for another legislature way down the road, because this deal guarantees the Brewers stay through 2050. It guarantees that we actually can own up to our word, not raise taxes, and fully fund studies that were done both by the Brewers and by the state, and fully fund it so we don't have the shortfalls that we have right now. So I will tell you that I negotiated in good faith. The gentleman from the 53rd negotiated in good faith. A lot of other people in this room negotiated in good faith, and never with the intent to stick it to Milwaukee. So all I ask is that when we leave here today, that conversation gets put to rest, because we went out of our way to help and do what we could to preserve the shared revenue bill that I didn't think we would come to if you would have asked me that 2 years ago, but we're here today. We're here today to promote keeping a ballpark viable for a team named the Milwaukee Brewers, our only tenant, and we're doing it to help the entire state, yes, but also to keep our major city viable and on the radar, and not have the negative things that are often talked about in Milwaukee. And I'm not going to repeat all those, but I'd rather talk about the Bucks going to the World Championship, or Damian Lillard coming here, or who we're picking up with the Brewers. Those are positive messages that resonate throughout the state and throughout the country. That's what I want Milwaukee to be known for. And if we can do it by using a income tax TIF instead of tax dollars, I'm all for that. So again, I just want to say thank you to both sides of the aisle. I know this is not an easy issue, but I think we're in a good spot. I think we've left some room for my colleague, as he pointed out, that this is going to go to the Senate. I'm anticipating some amendments that I think will make the bill even better, and I look forward to it coming back, and hopefully more of you will join in voting green. Thank you.